I've been saying for a while now that Affinity Photo 2 and Affinity Desginer 2 are some of the best free professional art software that's great for beginners that you can use on your iPad for digital illustration and vector designs. But every time I talk about these programs and teach beginners how to get started on them, I get comments telling me that beginners should be using a different free art app, Adobe Fresco, not Affinity. And very strongly, people have been telling me not to use Affinity Photo at all. The problem isn't that beginners are choosing the wrong free software. It's that we're not clear what we need the software to actually do. And it's definitely not that Affinity is too advanced. And it's most definitely not that Affinity Photo is completely pointless like some people want you to think. So instead of asking which one is easier and which software is better, we need to be asking a more specific question. If you're learning vector design, especially if you want to sell vector designs or making something that you can cut into vinyl like on a Cricut, or making a logo, or just making large scale art, there's 3 key things that you need your art software to be able to handle. And so the question should be, can the art app that I'm using do these 3 things? And those are, number 1, can it create true vector paths? Number 2, can it handle clean shape building? And 3, can it export vector files that actually work outside the app? And it doesn't matter how beginner friendly it feels. And it also doesn't matter if it seems like it might be too advanced, because we're just talking about 3 things. And it might be easy to start making really beautiful designs, but if that's all it can do, it's not going to take you very far. Then you're going to end up needing to learn these more advanced softwares anyway. So with these 3 key things in mind that we need our art software to do, we're going to compare what Adobe Fresco has to offer and what Affinity has to offer. So in order to figure out which one is better for beginners, we need to figure out what we're making vector art for. I make vector designs to use on a cutting machine like a Cricut, and I actually sell hundreds of vector designs to other crafters on Etsy, Creative Fabrica, and through Cricut Design Space. So the app that I use needs to be able to make true vector shapes, not just something that looks nice on screen. It needs to be technically correct as well. It has to be something that can scale perfectly, cut cleanly, and separate into layers without losing the design. And the same principles that make a vector compatible with a Cricut are the same vector building principles that are needed for the other types of designs as well, like seamless patterns, logos, large-scale art, screen printing images, and all kinds of things. The foundation is the same. So if we agree that good vector software is going to build good vector habits from the beginning, then we need to evaluate through that lens. So let's start with Adobe Fresco and see how it performs against these 3 standards we've been talking about. From the Adobe Fresco home screen, I'm going to tap on custom size and make a square canvas that is 1000 pixels by 1000 pixels. I don't personally use this software very often, so I'm just going to be using the very basics of this app. I always have to work from a sketch, so I'm going to make that first. So I'll go to the brushes and pick from the pixel brushes and get a pencil. To keep this consistent, I'm going to build a design where all the shapes are combined into one unified vector, no overlapping pieces that aren't merged, and nothing left disconnected. It has to function as one solid vector. And this cute little bee is perfect because all of the elements are connected. So now that my sketch is done, I'm going to reduce the opacity. And again, I don't use Fresco very often, and it took me longer than I'm willing to admit to find the opacity for the layer. So thankfully now I know that it's right here in these layer properties. So I'll just reduce it down to 35%. Next, I'll add a new layer. Then I'll open the brushes and change to the vector brushes. And I'm just going to use the basic round brush. And something I really appreciate right away is the smoothing slider. I personally struggle with making super smooth, confident lines in one stroke, no matter what program I'm using. My Apple Pencil movements are not that controlled, so I am going to shamelessly turn up the smoothing to 100%. If you're a beginner, don't feel bad about using the smoothing. It's a tool, just use all the tools. So I've started tracing over my sketch and building the B shape. As I'm drawing, I'm trying to think about whether these lines are creating closed shapes, because if they aren't fully closed, that can cause issues later when exporting or cutting. One thing I'm noticing while I'm working is that the canvas rotation feels a little stiff to me. It's not as fluid as what I'm used to, and that just could be muscle memory from the other apps, but it's something I've personally noticed, and it has nothing to do with the 3 standards we're talking about, but just personal preference wise, I don't like the rotation as much. And again, I'm trying to work the way a beginner would, not forcing advanced shortcuts, just using the visible tools and seeing how intuitive it feels. And I want to make everything symmetrical. And I know that this app has a symmetry tool, but just to make this easy, I'll select multiple layers and then duplicating and then mirroring them on the other side. So one major thing I'm missing here in Fresco is a node tool. I can't directly adjust the individual anchor points or node handles that make up these vector paths. I can, of course, erase and redraw my shapes if something looks off, and this is totally fine. But if I wanted to make small, precise adjustments, like nudging a curve slightly or tightening up a corner, I don't have that level of control here. And for beginners, that's more important than it sounds. How anchor points work, how curves are controlled, and how to refine shapes without starting over, those are foundational vector building skills. So while I can get close by redrawing, I'm not actually editing the structure of the vector, I'm just replacing it. And that's a subtle but important difference. But now that the vector design is done, I'll turn off my sketch and my background and go to export. So I'll tap on the share icon, choose publish and export, and then select export as. And in this dropdown, you can see the available formats: PNG, JPEG, a PSD, which is a Photoshop file, and a PDF. What I'm noticing here is that there isn't an option to export as an industry standard editable vector file like an SVG. And for someone designing for Cricut or selling vector designs, SVG is typically the universal format that works across platforms. So if I want to make this into a vector file, I have to export this as a PSD and then convert it to an SVG or EPS using Adobe Illustrator. And not everybody has this. You can open it right in Illustrator and then export as, and then choose SVG. And you can see in the layer stack that even though it looked like one combined shape in Fresco, it translated into multiple paths. So if I were to upload this to Cricut as is, it would cut as multiple shapes, not one continuous shape. And if you want to make this for crafters, that's not ideal. But these are true vector objects with closed paths and fill data, not just stroked lines. So even though I need Illustrator to merge everything into one single combined shape for cutting, I'm not starting from scratch. The structure is correct. It just needs a final step. Alternatively, from Fresco, I can export this as a PNG and use it in any program as one clean shape, even in Cricut Design Space, but that will make it a pixel-based file, and that's not what we're trying to achieve. It still works, but I wanted this to stay a vector so resizing wouldn't be an issue. So when it comes to what we need from our vector designing app, how does Fresco hold up? Can it create true vector paths? Yes and no. You can absolutely draw vector paths. They're scalable, they're technically vector-based, but without a node tool, you can't directly edit or refine those paths after you draw them. You don't have access to the anchor points. And then next, can Fresco handle clean shape building? Absolutely yes, the shapes are solid. They're closed, they fill properly, and they behave like real vector objects. And then here's a big one, can it export vector files that can be used outside of the app? This is an unfortunate no. I have to export this as a PSD file, then convert it to an SGV file if I want to use my design as a vector outside of Fresco. But if you don't need to do these things, Fresco is a great design software. It's a great art software. Fresco is a solid app to create vector designs. It just depends on what your needs are. So now let's talk about Affinity, and I just wanted to mention Affinity Photo 2 first. I already know, and I've shown on my channel, that Affinity Photo only has 2 vector tools. It doesn't have all the vector editing tools that we need to make a combined vector. You can make vectors using the pen tool, but you can't convert the paths to filled shapes, and there is no shape building tool. You can absolutely export a file as an SVG from Affinity Photo, but it's not going to work in Cricut. The reason that I like Affinity Photo is that it has raster-based drawing as well as vector drawing. This is great for like making t-shirt designs because I like drawing an image and then adding text over it, and the designs that I like to make, I've had to do a lot of workarounds if I've ever used Procreate for this. But these are personal projects. These aren't the things that I do for my art business, like building true vector shapes that I can sell to other crafters. So by the 3 standards that we've been talking about, we already know that Affinity Photo doesn't hold up. But what about Affinity Designer? Affinity Designer 2 is Affinity's designated vector building app. So here's the entire simple vector building process in Affinity Designer 2. I'm using a canvas that is the same size, 1000 pixels by 1000 pixels, and first I need to switch to the pixel persona so I can sketch out my image again. I was considering just importing my sketch from Fresco, so I didn't have to draw it again, but I wanted to see that you can do both your pixel-based sketching and the vector editing in this app as well. So now that that sketch is done, I'll lower the opacity and trace over it with the vector tools. Now I want to switch back to the designer persona so all of our vector tools are available. You can absolutely use the vector pencil tool and draw this out like we did in Fresco. But personally, I prefer the pen tool. And the reason is simple. The pen tool forces you to think about your anchor points. Instead of free drawing and hoping smoothing fixes everything, you're intentionally placing each point and controlling each curve. And for beginners, that might feel slower at first, but it actually teaches you how vectors actually work. I'm going to start by placing my anchor points around the shape of the bee's body. And you'll notice as I set my pencil down, I drag a little bit to create a curve. And I get these little handles. They're called Bezier handles. These are what control the curve. And if I don't like how that curve looks, I can grab the node tool and adjust it after the fact. And that right there is the big difference. I don't have to erase or redraw anything. I can just make minor adjustments. And for me, that is much more precise. And as I work around the shape, I'm thinking about fewer anchor points, placing them strategically, and direction changes, and keeping my curves clean. And I don't have to make this in one continuous curve. I can complete a curve and then create another one that isn't attached yet, knowing I can connect them using the shape builder tool later on. And even though this bee is all done, when you look at my layer stack, there are multiple pieces to my design so far. In Affinity Designer, you can combine them all into one shape super easily. So first I'll select all of my curves and then go to the 3-dot menu and choose Merge Curves. Now all my curves that were a stroke path are combined into one, and I'm going to take this opportunity to increase the width of the stroke. Now I can select all of the layers together and go back to the 3-dot menu and choose Expand Stroke. What that does is convert every stroke into an actual closed vector shape instead of a center line with width applied. It becomes a filled outline. However, where the strokes overlap or intersect, expanding them can create multiple overlapping shapes. And whichever program reads this will see this as a bunch of separate fragmented shapes. So we want to combine everything into one clean shape. And for that, I'll grab the Shape Builder tool. So I'll select all of the expanded shapes and then zoom into an area where there are a lot of overlaps. On the top menu, I'll tap on the plus or add mode and drag across the sections that I want merged. Now these sections are merged into one continuous shape. And I like to work section by section because I have a lot more precision that way. And then once all of that is done, our image is complete and it's just ready to be exported. So now let's see if we have that third criteria, being able to export this. So I'll tap on the document menu and tap on export. Here you have multiple options for vector formats, not even just one. We have EPS, SVG, DWG, and DXF. These are all vector file formats. So I'll just go ahead and save this as an SVG file and save it to my Files app. If everything was built correctly, the shape should import as clean closed vectors and the layer should stay intact. There shouldn't be any broken paths or any unexpected multiple layers. So when I bring this into Cricut Design Space, it should recognize it as a proper cut file, meaning I can resize it without distortion, and you'll see that there's just one layer, one closed shape. So when it comes to what we need out of our vector making app, how does Affinity Designer 2 hold up? Can it make true vector paths? Absolutely yes. Not only can you make them as paths, but you can edit them with a node tool. Can it handle shape building? Absolutely yes. So you can make a path and convert it to a shape and combine them all with the shape builder tool. The shape builder tool is one of my favorite tools. And then can it export vector files that can be used outside of the app? Yes, you can make a design that can go straight from Affinity Designer to any other app or software that can read vectors. Now that we've fully shown you Adobe Fresco and Affinity Designer 2 and a little bit of Affinity Photo 2, let's go back to our 3 questions. Can it create true vector paths? Can it handle clean shape building? Can it export usable universal vector files? Adobe Fresco can absolutely create beautiful vector artwork. The smoothing is beginner friendly and the drawing experience feels really natural. And if the pen tool from Affinity Designer or Adobe Illustrator feels intimidating to you, Adobe Fresco is a really great option for this. Fresco removes a lot of that friction, and you can absolutely create beautiful, scalable artwork using Adobe Fresco. But it does have some limitations. There's no node tool to make adjustments to your anchor points, and you can't directly edit the structure of your curves. And most disappointingly to me, there's no native export for a universal vector file like an SVG. But for someone that just wants to create vector style illustrations inside the Adobe ecosystem, none of that really matters. But if your goal is to sell SVGs or create images that you can use in a CAD system, or just grow into a more advanced vector building workflow, these limitations really start to matter. But now let's look at Affinity Designer 2. You have the pen tool, you have the node tool, you have the shape building tool, plus a huge suite of different vector tools. You can export in multiple vector formats. Not only that, you can sketch in pixels and then build in vectors all in one app. Is it slightly more technical at first? Yes. But it also teaches you how vectors actually work, and that's a foundation that's going to grow with you. So if you're a beginner asking which one should I choose, first you have to be clear about what your actual goals are. If you want the most comfortable drawing experience and you don't really care about being able to export as an SVG, Adobe Fresco might seem easier and a lot less intimidating. But if you want to build strong vector skills that will transfer outside of just the program that you're starting in, getting into more professional workflows, Affinity Designer sets you up with everything that you need from day one, plus it's free. Neither is wrong, they just serve a different purpose. And some people maybe just don't understand what my purpose is, and that's why they're telling me I'm using the wrong one. Beginners shouldn't be told that they're using the wrong tool. They should just be clear about what they're building toward. Even just after this first real experience in Adobe Fresco, I already feel like I've kind of outgrown it. It's still a great app, it just doesn't meet my needs. And all the commenters say that they love Adobe Fresco. I'm not saying that you shouldn't use it and that you shouldn't continue to use it and love it as much as you are. Just don't tell me to use it because it doesn't do what I need it to do. So if you decide that Affinity Designer is the right app for you, I have a video sharing 10 things that I learned in my first month of using the app. These are things that I wish I knew from the start so that I could have worked more efficiently and faster from the beginning, and that video is right here.